Good day, ladies and gentlemen. We're actually tracking significant rain and weather system that's actually addressing the area of Seattle and Portland right now. If we take a look at um, our our weather forecast, we actually see the system actually making its way along the coastline of the Washington and Oregon area, Northern California. And it's actually making a significant impact. Possibly, it will with tomorrow is going to be torrential rain throughout the Seattle area, and we actually see the low pressure system making its way into the area in the very early morning of Tuesday, January 12th, and we can actually see a significant drop in the pressure here, which is a indicator of the torrential rain starting. And we actually see it will be a steady rise into almost 100% chance of precipitation as this low pressure system actually makes its way in. And we can see that pretty much throughout the day into the early morning of Wednesday, January 13th, it's going to be torrential rain in the Seattle, Washington area as this low pressure system makes its way inland. One of the things I wanted to note here is that the temperature will stay relatively the same, and also the dew point, which is the point at which the temperature where humidity approaches almost 100%, and then at which point the rain begins is pretty much hovering identical to the current temperature. If we were to do a plot analysis of the dew point, we would actually see it paralleling a similar pattern to the actual rise and fall of temperature in the area on Tuesday. But this significant event is really marked by the low pressure system that's actually making its way into the Seattle area. We do see the low pressure actually eventually moving out of the area, and then with the increase in temperature, the skies will clear up quite a bit and possibly more precipitation on Thursday. But if we actually return to this low pressure system on Tuesday, the low pressure will dip we anticipate as low as 1,003 hectopascals, which is very low. And as the system makes its way inland, you should anticipate quite a bit of precipitation all throughout the day on Tuesday into the very early morning of Wednesday for the Seattle area. So this is actually showing up quite a bit on our satellite radar image here, and we can see in the barogram that you can actually see this event being triggered by the low pressure system here. The temperature, coincidentally, the temperatures will drop going into Thursday by almost 10 degrees. We do see a sharp degree drop into Thursday morning. The temperatures will drop quite a bit on Thursday, but with rising pressure, with a high pressure system moving into the area, we do anticipate a mix of clear skies and some cloudiness, and there may be some precipitation here and there, but not quite compared to what's going to be impacting the Seattle area on Tuesday. We can actually go to our next model, which will actually show the precipitation as it makes landfall in the area. So if we actually take a look at this weather model, it's an Icon German model. I like to use this model because it's been pretty accurate for most of 2020 when it comes to 3-hour precipitation modeling for any particular area in the United States. And as we monitor this system going into the area, we can actually see the impact of this low pressure system interacting with the coastline of Washington and Oregon and Northern California. So if we actually take a look at what we anticipate will be the system actually impacting for Tuesday, we actually see in the early morning of Tuesday, significant rainfall eventually migrating into the area, impacting the area of Portland and Seattle. And then as it makes its way into Wednesday, it starts to dissipate. So we anticipate the window of most of Tuesday into the early morning of Wednesday before it actually starts to break up. And there may be some scattered showers on Thursday, but we do anticipate that as the system makes its way through the area. One thing to note also is that it's going to be quite a windy event with the low pressure system moving in. It is characteristic of the winds to pick up quite a bit. So during Tuesday from about 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., we do anticipate the winds picking up to as high as 22 to 26 miles per an hour, and then and this will continue, and the winds will not decline until possibly midday on Wednesday. Perhaps the winds will be as high as 25 miles per an hour in the early morning on Wednesday, and then on midday they will kind of die down, but the winds will not die down as this until maybe midday on Wednesday, as this low pressure system actually makes its way through with torrential rainfall. You can actually see the density of the rain with the dark blues as the system actually impacts the area of Seattle and Washington, Seattle and Portland area going into for Tuesday and Wednesday. So we're actually taking a very, very close look at this weather system. We can actually take a look at the wind intensity also. Yes, so as we take a look at this model for the Icon German model, we're actually taking a look at the wind vorticity at about 500 hectopascals, which is a little bit of an elevation above, but it does give us it gives us a pretty good estimate as far as what's actually impacting the area as far as winds, and this weather advisory would not be complete unless we did a review of the wind vorticity as well as the direction of the winds, as this significant rain and wind event actually impacts the area of Seattle, Washington, and the coast of Portland, Oregon, even Northern California. But as we take a look, we can actually see as this system moves in, the winds do pick up. And as I mentioned before, you should anticipate that the winds will be steadily in the area of 22 to 26 miles per an hour most of the day Tuesday, as this low pressure system interacts with the coastline of Washington and Oregon. And the winds will not die down until possibly about midday on Wednesday as this system makes its way through. But this is going to be a significant weather event, not only bring in a significant amount of precipitation, but as you can see, there are going to be areas of significant wind that will be wind gusts that actually pick up. We can see some red zones, and for the red zones, we're actually noticing 35 to 40 knots that will actually be picking up in this area. So as far as precipitation is concerned, there will be possibly weather hazards for transportation, but also there may be some events that for down power lines as a result of downed tree limbs and so forth. So there may be some power outages, but we don't anticipate that the winds will pick up to that potential as far as a significant power outage event. But it is something to note. So if you do live in the Seattle or Portland area, you should anticipate that the winds will be picking up as these torrential downpours actually make their way into the area. But if there's some comfort in knowing that perhaps by midday in the late afternoon, things will the wind vorticity will die down quite a bit as the system actually makes its way through the area, heading east out of the states of Washington and Oregon. So that is our review of this rain low pressure system actually impacting the area of Washington and Oregon. If this weather report has been beneficial to you, by all means, please go ahead, subscribe, share, and like this video. We're constantly monitoring the weather in the continental United States and the Caribbean for significant weather events, and we do analysis, and we review all of the major weather models coming out of the Weather Center, and we put together a report for our subscribers. So we do appreciate all of our subscribers. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, and have a great day.